Hello, this is the Villains Band, and I'm JVD.
And I'm Smiley. And today, on Dozens of Discussions, we'll be speaking about magic items. Too many or too few.
And would you say that's a problem in 5th edition?
I feel there's a bit stigmata against breaking the game.
But do you feel that in 5th edition, the less magic items, more balanced the game is?
They're to a point they're required for certain monsters.
I agree.
Otherwise, the fighter will never overcome damage resistances, which is a very important thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not required overall. Just the magic item suffix is. So just a sword that's magical that will never rust.
Pretty
would
much.
suffice for damage reductions. The degree of magic is not what's in question. It's the fact that it may or may not be magical.
And which we've talked about. That goes a long way. For instance, with Vormal, he was like, well, a common weapon would just, this is a magic sword that glows.
Yes.
So, but like you said, it overcomes the damage reduction because it's a magic weapon.
Exactly.
So, in 5th edition, there is the rule of three items that you can attune to.
3 appears a lot in 5th edition.
Way to fuck that up, Evan. This is what we get for recording with somebody else in our studio. What you call it, studio?
Why not? It's what we have as a studio.
Shame on you. Shame.
For sure.
Oh my God, well that's your fault. And he's not even our director.
He's off to the side.
Like he's not even a producer or a key guy or a grip guy. He don't even hold a microphone. We have a microphone right here. God damn it, Evan, get out of here.
I'm turning it off.
The one that has to do with flumps of it.
Should we just restart all this?
No.
Okay.
They need to see what we go through.
Oh my God, it's because he's redheaded.
Oh,
That's what it is. Oh man.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Continuing on. Where were we?
We were talking about...
Oh yeah, about attunement and
Yes.
whatnot. And there's a lot of. It seems your more powerful items require attunement.
Yes, more useful items as well.
Yes, very, very much. Because here's the thing: in 3.5, which I had skipped 4th edition, I can have something on my neck that bumps my constitution up, and I can have something on my head that bumps my charisma up. And I can have armor that'll bump my charisma and my armor up.
Yeah.
And my constitution. So they really negated a lot of that.
In 4th edition, it was expected and assumed that you had magic items.
Yeah.
As appropriate for your level. And if you didn't get them, you could just make them as a player for dust that you would always get from playing the game.
Now, you just brought this up. Do you equip characters by magic items per level? Because I don't.
I don't, but nor do I care how powerful are the items that I give. If it's appropriate for where the item is found, and
I agree with that. That's kind of how I am. So.
I'm very much into the idea of legacy items that get more powerful as you prove yourself. If it's a sit item, you prove yourself to the item becomes more powerful.
Yeah.
If it's certain magics will become more powerful the longer they stay attuned to you, and things like that.
And I think if a character has an item like that, they don't really need anything else.
I believe that every character deserves a signature item.
Well, and I think it's kind of like it's old school D&D. Like you think of the cartoon, like all the kids have their signature thing.
Exactly.
So, but they were talking about
Dritz has his 2 swords. He always has these swords. He never.
Is it the swords or is it Guinevere? Which is the signature?
I legitimately associate him more with scimitars than I do with the panther.
See, I assume I think it's always a panther because he fought and killed for the panther to get the panther,
which is true.
I mean, and the thing is,
he's known as the drow with the 2 scimitars, because a lot of people at the meeting they never even meet the panther.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. The scimitars have kind of taken in a way, step back because I'm ahead of you. The books.
Well, I have a personal. There's reading about an amazing character is amazing for a time, but after a while, I get burnt out on repetition of things, and that's one of the things where I have actually proceeded to keep up with the books.
And see, that's my thing with it. Let's not get off topic.
It's a whole other discussion altogether.
So we're talking about distribution of magic
Yes.
items. And considering that I've run our first game as a group here on YouTube, and you are now running our second game, we gotta have a really good idea of what we're looking at here. So my item distribution is most of the time in my game, unless you found something, you weren't buying anything.
I, for one, support the magic item market.
So I do too, but it was my
Very rarely is it potently magical items.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing they even tell you about 5th edition. You know, strong magic you are not going to be able to buy, much like you would in previous editions.
They actually gave you this whole method about finding buyers for your magic items, like turning it into a series of rows. I would feel you could also invert that if there was a specific item that you wanted, that, you know, with as long as it wasn't like legendary or an artifact.
Yeah.
That you, if it was just like a rare or very rare item, you could. I'd let you do search checks while you're within the city trying to see if you can find someone that's selling this item.
Well, see, in my game, The Ancient War Reborn, you can check it all 49 episodes here on YouTube.
Oh,
I had a place to buy magic, but because you guys continuously went left when you needed to go right, you never found that place. I had a traveling caravan written out. That's what they do. They just barter magic items and whatnot. And it's based off of a podcast I listen to, Tom Drew's Magic Item Review. And you guys would always skirt away from it. And I'm like, all right, well, it's going to go this way. And then you go the opposite way. And I'm like, well, these guys are never going to find that. But me personally, I think in 5th edition, I try to make sure everybody's got at least 2.
Yeah.
And preferably one offensive one. At least. The other one could be defensive one. It can be something that might give you a little bump, but I prefer that one is always offensive one when I try to distribute magic items. And where you're like you figured everybody else has to have that signature weapon, I try to make sure at least one person has that. I don't want to do it for everybody because to me, I feel...
Well, signature item.
Yeah, but like we used to talk about, like, you know, a signature, something that claims that character. Like, this is what this character is known for. Yeah. I try to centralize that to one person because I want them to feel that. I don't want everybody to feel that.
I feel it's one of those things that it's part and parcel of the fantasy roleplay itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dritz was known for his swords, Canterbury had the bow, Wolfgar had the hammer. And, like, it's one of those things that's very much like my mindset with it. Like,
yeah.
Everyone becomes known for something about them.
Well, and I agree with that, but I don't do the magic items. For instance, Evan's character had the sword, which was McCormick's character, the Beard of Wonder. He had the sword, which was actually supposed to go to Evan. Was my plan, but I was trying to make his signature thing his story because it was so spread out, and then your signature thing was literally your crafting and how you were making everything, and then Evan, who was supposed to get the sword, actually wound up his signature thing was leading the charge with everything, and which he wound up with a weapon which was crafted by you, so it kind of tied in, it all tied together. That's kind of how I see distributing when it comes to magic items. One person should have that big thing.
See, I try to make no thing like the big thing, but put several things that when they're together are big.
Yeah.
Where we have Daybreak.
Yes.
Daybreak's alluded to having a sister here and there. She doesn't know where it's at.
Oh, wow. That's information we've learned.
That was actually in discussion with the Grom in the game.
Did not know that. When I had to find me a Daybreak sword.
Yeah, it's not Daybreak though.
Oh, I figured that, but maybe it's evil.
It could very well be. You know, if I find that a lot of times siblings are the most opposite of each other.
Very true.
But very much like...
I mean, my sibling is a sister, so yeah.
I have a... Like, in a lot of my games, I have a collection of items that I try to work in because they're just something that ties back to my first few times running D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And very much so, like, I will pick out like a handful of these items and throw them out. My first time they were just all in the game. The whole game was finding these 12 items, and it was a clusterfuck. First times. It all started with the Orb of Choo Choo down by the way.
You lost me on that.
I know. It was just my first game.
Okay. I got you.
It very much like I refer to them as the 12 stars.
Well, I had something I was going to bring up, and you said the orb of Choo Choo, and I'm like, and I just went, and I lost what I was.
My very first game that I ran when I was 13 years old.
Gotcha. Okay.
I overstressed the name Gina for a gnome, so it sounds like another word. And she sent the players on a quest.
Word?
Well, the pronunciation was Gina.
Okay.
But they sent them for the orb of Choo Choo.
Now, is this like Choo Choo like a train, or like Choo Choo like my cat?
CHUCHOO.
Okay. Either or.
Yeah.
So, what is the orb of Choo Choo?
Well, the players never found it.
Oh, okay. That's how it typically goes when you build something like that.
Because of a little thing called friendly fire.
Oh, lovely.
Fireball fills the area. Yeah, fun.
So, is there anything else we can talk about here with Magic Items?
Don't be scared of them.
No.
You never know when your game's going to end, and the feeling of like getting that one thing that you just adore can be priceless. You just don't want to overdo it.
So, I know what I was going to bring up.
Oh, sweet.
How do you feel about players telling you that they want this? Would you prefer, as a DM, for me right now, hey, Notch wants a +1 bow that fires acid arrows. Do you prefer that your characters come with you for magic items that they would like, or are you the type of DM, which this is how I am, you get what you get?
You know, I've only ever had one player ask me for a specific magic item, and I trolled him with that information through the entire session.
I've done that before.
Like, there was suddenly belts everywhere.
but and the thing is, like, okay, to a degree, I'm not a fan of that. But unless it makes sense.
As long as I was not too powerful, like I said, I'll let you do a search, like specifically seek out to buy this item if you have enough wealth accumulated to do it. But like with through a series of checks and rolls, making a bit of a skill challenge over the course of several sessions here or there. But I won't just drop in an item into the game just for one thing. If I randomly roll the item, then sweet. To me that's more satisfying than making them wait for something.
Yeah, I agree. Now, see, my thing is, I don't mind if a player wants an item, as long as it happens to do with their story. For instance, DMMD Kyle, he's playing this barbarian where he has an axe that's almost ancestral item to
see that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because at the beginning he understands that it's nothing special. It grows with him much like a legacy weapon.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But I don't want somebody to come up and be like, hey man, I really need a bow. I need a magical bow.
That's what I was saying, like,
well,
no names called, but I did legit have a player that goes up like, man, I really need a belted dwarven kind for my character to work right. And my response is, then why did you make your character that way?
Yeah, that's what I hate, when you basically build your character around magic items.
I never did. It's in 5th edition, you could get whatever magic item you wanted just by playing the game. I mean,
in 5th edition?
I mean 4th.
I was going to say
4th edition. I mean, by all means, more power to you. That's what you want.
Which to me takes away a lot of the point of the game, which is role playing.
I do support paying high level wizards for enchantments over long periods of time.
Yeah, see, I feel about that way with Magic 2. Like that was a big thing for us in 3.5, and it's even in the book in the DMG, where I've got a +1 sword. Well, I want a more powerful sword. I'm level 12. Then pay for it. You've got all the gold you need to do this. You can literally enchant a weapon the way you want it to be.
And like the discrepancy is for each rarity of the enchantment, it's 1,000 times 10.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was for the last price times 10.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it can escalate rapidly because that's to keep from getting making your own artifacts.
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, even in 5th edition, I think if I had a character that found a +1 sword that would want to do that, I'm fine with it, as long as you have the gold. And the thing is, you have to be willing to be patient.
Yeah.
Because these things don't happen overnight.
Permanent teleportation circles takes 1 fucking year to make.
So yeah, and but the thing is, are you going to wait a whole year for that sword?
I'd make it a couple months.
So
Yeah, like the enchanted sword, like to be flaming.
no, but I mean, I'm just saying, as a player, I mean, all everybody else is going to Undermountain.
It gives good pattern because you have to spend, I think it's like 100 gold per casting for every day for 365 days.
Yeah. So, but like Sally said, when it comes to magic items, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Don't be stingy. Players, they like finding them, even if they're just mundane things. Give them quirky ones as well. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
Give them cursed ones is my favorite thing to do.
Which is well and true.
For instance, Boots of Dancing. You ever had a bear in Boots of Dancing?
I did have a bear in Boots of Dancing.
First time I played, my buddy Mike, he's playing a centaur. We were all playing Drow because the War of the Spiders Queen story was going on in the novels.
Wait, were yours, when you identified yours, did it say Boots of Riding and Leaping?
Yeah, they pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's what mine
So
did.
he got them, and our DM did it to troll him because he got tired because he didn't want to play a Drow, and we were all playing Drow, because the game was, and this is really cool. I know we're a little off topic, but still magic items. Was that the 8th house was open and all these houses were competing, and we actually had a separate group in our shop that was a different house. So they had our game set up where at certain times we would run into each other, and so our game of 5 people would turn to a game of 10 people. And if that turned into a team up or a battle, so be it. If people died, so be it. Well, anyways, he played the centaur and he was a slave. He was our muscle. And he kept, and I know our DM was not a fan of it, but he wouldn't leave him alone about it. Same with Boots Dancing. So we're going to combat, and this is where our game turned to shit, and we all died. So, because he's our muscle, right? And I was a rogue, and he's like, he walks up, and he's like, go ahead. And he was like, all right. So he swung, and this was so funny. Boom, critical. He's like, you rear up after charging in, you kind of slam down your hooves, you go to swing. He's like, and you work into a jig. and we just all started laughing. He's like, you drop your axe. It's like, you're just getting with it. And your enemy looks at you real confused. And boy, and we had such a good laugh about that. Cursed items. Always a good time. Always a good time.
I feel cursed items would always lead to something either great or memorable.
And, well, my first time playing, very memorable.
Oh, yes.
So, with that, we're the Villains, man. I'm JVD.
I'm Smiley.
Keep the dice rolling, guys.